Hey everybody, Nick Espinosa, your chief security fanatic here, and today we have to talk about LinkedIn because LinkedIn, you broke my heart. Now here's what's going on. They are violating the privacy, or rather did violate the privacy, of 20 million of their users. This is according to CBC News out of Canada, and here's what's going on. A 5-year study by LinkedIn on nearly 20 million of its users raises ethical red flags since some unknowing participants in the social experiment likely had job opportunities curtailed. And that is basically what we are talking about here. Now, the online, basically social media networking platform, etc., randomly varied the number of strong and weak acquaintances present in users in the quote-unquote people you may know suggestion section to test a long-held theory. Basically that people are more likely to get a new job through distant acquaintances than they are close contacts. The resulting study, published in Science magazine this September 15th by LinkedIn, MIT, Stanford, and Harvard researchers, confirmed the idea. Users shown contacts with whom they've had only 10 mutual friends doubled their chances of a new job compared to those shown with 20 mutual friends. Now, the study relied on data collected through routine experiments for the sake of the user experience. This is called A/B testing, where random subsets of users were suggested stronger or weaker ties without LinkedIn's knowledge of the effects on job opportunities. But that also meant that LinkedIn users whose algorithms were inundated with quote-unquote close contacts, those with 20 or more mutual friends, connected with fewer opportunities through LinkedIn itself. Given the possible consequences, it's unlikely many people would knowingly consent to have their network and obviously their livelihoods manipulated as basically they were. Now, according to Jonathan Penny, a law professor whose research focuses on internet society and data policy at New York's Osgood Hall of Law School, said, and I quote, "It was a large number of people that could be negatively affected in terms of job prospects. Most users, if you ask them, would say there's no way they would have consented to this kind of study. I have real concerns with ethics." Basically, this is what we are talking about. More than 5 million of these participants were from North America in the 2019 phase of the study. Since I have basically followers from around the world, obviously this was a global study, so there you go. Now, while academics are basically held to rigorous standards for ethics and disclosure, it's not unusual for marketing or media companies to use an algorithm to gauge the success of new products or services. The process, as I mentioned, is known as A/B testing, in which users have access to different online tools or experiences to analyze how these people are going to engage with it. Now, in an email to CBC News, a LinkedIn spokesperson said that the company hoped to use this data to tailor its services. Quote, "Through these observations, we were able to determine that you're more likely to get a job from an acquaintance over a best friend. We can't wait to see how the study helps companies, recruiters, jobs, and job seekers change the way they think about the labor market." Now, I think the interesting part about this is it does, I think, in some ways violate privacy. Now, when you sign up for a LinkedIn, terms of services, all those kinds of things, you're pretty much going to be subjected to stuff. Facebook is notorious for this. Think Cambridge Analytica, et cetera, et cetera. But to those people that are desperately looking for a job, if they're in the B category, assuming that's the one that's more negative, meaning you're getting nothing but close acquaintances, you're going to have a harder time spreading out your network. You're going to have a harder time basically having somebody that needs your talents find your talents. I think that's a detriment not just to the person that's looking for a job, but to employers as well. Not to mention the ethics of this. This is people's livelihood. This is not asking, do you like apples and oranges, and then figuring out if the world likes apples or oranges. This is basically saying, hey, you have a high-paying job over the horizon, and we're not going to show this to you because we're not going to connect you to those people. Now, LinkedIn is obviously doesn't have a crystal ball with these kinds of things, nor does anybody else. But if we believe that there is a hypothesis and people, let's say, signed up to say, yeah, you can put me part of that testing, and we learn from that, then maybe we would have a better idea that would benefit everybody. But to do this as a blind study, to do this without basically anybody's consent, is exactly the problem we have in the modern internet era. Just because we sign up for something for free and we know we're going to get data mined and targeted advertised doesn't necessarily mean we should be part of things that potentially manipulate us, whether it's our job prospects, psychologically, or anything else. So I think this is a huge problem. We're going to see where this goes. But if you're a LinkedIn user, and for the record, a lot of you follow me on on LinkedIn. A lot of you watch my content or listen to my content on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is probably my most trafficked social media platform in terms of engagement. This obviously is not good all the way around. So I'd love to hear from you, especially if you are listening or watching this on LinkedIn, and let me know your thoughts. And please like, share, follow me here on Facebook and Twitter at NickAESP. Same with LinkedIn as well. Well, apparently you will be experimented on. Same with YouTube, meaning follow me and watch me. And as always, stay safe, stay online, and please attempt to stay private. Thanks, everybody.